Okay, so this is where we were. It's been long. I guess it's been a month, and many things have happened. XYZ have happened in Bangladesh. Let's not get into that. But so this is where we were. These were the three solutions. First is this, then we had this one, then we had this one. It's mainly three solutions, and in my last video I have mentioned that I'll be showing the algorithms, the coding part of implementing these algorithms or implementing these solutions. So now let's start with that. I believe you can see my screen, see my VS Code screen, I guess. Yep. This was our main problem. What this code does is we have mainly three functions that are doing all the things. Firstly, the read file function, the write file function, and the update file function. So what the read file does, it takes a file name, then it just reads the file and returns you that content of that file, file name or the file path. Same goes for the write file. It takes the file path and a new value, and the new value, then it just writes the new content or the new value in that file. It does not return anything. And about the update file, it is just a wrapper with using this read file and write file function. If I can show you that, yep. First, it gets a current value using the read file function. Then it logs it just for debugging thing. Then it calculates a new value, just adding 5 with the previous value, and then it calls the write file function to write the new value in that file. Then again it reads the new value or the final value, then it logs it again, logs it back, so that we can debug that really easily. Now in this part of the code, this is mainly IIFE function. IIFE function means a function in JavaScript, a function that calls itself. We do not have to call that separately. It just calls itself by automatically when we run this file. So inside this, what I'm doing is I'm creating an array of promises. Now what promises? That's a whole different section. Just know that both of these functions will be called at the same time. At the same time. It will not wait for another function or another call to be completed. It will be called at the same time. Now after that, we are waiting for both of them to complete so that we can exit the process of this file. Now from the really beginning, I am talking about this file name. Now what the file is, we have this file here, data.txt. Inside this we have a value of 5. Now what our algorithm does in the update file, it just simply adds 5 to the previous value, means 5 in the initial stage. It just adds 5 to that, and pretty much that's it. Now if I run this problem.js file, what will happen? Let's see. Node problem.js. See, okay, that's done. Now before checking this data.txt file, let me tell you this. What is the expected value in data.txt? First, we had the value 5 in data.txt. Then our update function was called twice, means it will add 5 for the first call, it will add another 5 for the second call. So the total number should be 15, right? Now let's see what we have here. See, we have 10 instead of 15. That's the problem. That's the problem I explained in the previous video. Please refer to that to understand what's happening here mainly. Now our first solution, where is that? Okay, yeah, our first solution. Let's see. If you wanna know or get the explanation of what the solution does or how the algorithm works, please refer to my previous video about this topic, race condition. Okay, now again we have same three functions: read file, write file, and update file. The only difference is in here. We are awaiting This await keyword is again a JavaScript thing, but just for this video, just know that this await keyword will wait until this function gets completed, and after this is completed totally, only then it will execute this line of code. Okay, and same goes for this one. After this function gets executed or gets completed totally, after that, only after that, this line of code will get executed. Now if I run this solution1, okay, let's first update this file again to 5. Now let's run solution1 node solution1. Yep. Okay, now let's see what happened. Yep, we got our expected value to 15. Now we have a problem here. The problem is that I explained, that I also mentioned in the previous video. What if we just do not give this await keywords? None is inside this one, inside this ify function, or the function that calls itself. You can consider that with the user base, so that we do not have so much control over that. I just recreated it, the same scenario. Now, as we do not have, as a coder, as a developer, as we do not have so much control over this section, so no one will stop us. We do not have any quote-unquote rule to keep this await keywords. We can remove that at any time. That's why that was not a good solution according to my previous video. Now if I can go to solution 2. Now yeah, again solution 2 have the same 3 functions, but only difference is we are introducing a new variable which is called isBlocked. And just like the previous video, just like I mentioned in the previous video, what it does, it just determines that if the thread is already blocked, or if we are working with the same file. If true, then we will not process any other calls. Now let's update the value first to 5 again. Let's go to solution 2, and if I can run solution 2, now let's see what happened. We got 10, not 15. Okay, now we have a log here that says is process is blocked, skipping update. Now which process is blocked? The second one. If I can show you this part of the code, this is the same thing, just like our problem statement. This is the same part, but in the right file, nope, not in the right, but yep, in update, it first checks if it is blocked. If true, then it logs the thing, it logs the text which says process is blocked, skipping update. Okay, if it is not blocked, only then it processes the call. It processes the call. Okay, and while processing the call, it just blocks it again. Okay, so that was solution 2. Which is not so much of a good solution, as I mentioned, as I explained in the previous video. Now let's get into solution 3. In here we again have 3 functions, those known 3 functions, but besides that we also have a new thing. What is that? 2 new functions. One is called acquire lock and one is called release lock. And as the comment suggests, function to acquire a lock on the file and function to release a lock on the file. Now I obviously can get into how it works and stuff, but instead of focusing on that will obviously be a syntax thing in JavaScript. Instead of focusing on that, just know that this function acquires a queue, acquires a lock. It just detects if the file, the second call, any of the call is the file any of the call is trying to work with, is it already booked or is it already busy with another call or not. That's a simple process of this. That's a simple task of this function, and not simple task of this function mainly. It just locks the file. It does not detect it, it just locks it, so that later on we can detect if it is locked or not. And release lock, again, the opposite of acquire lock, it just releases the file so that any other call or any other thread can work with that. Now inside the update file, we are first acquiring the lock. So acquiring the lock with this file name so that no other call can work with this file. Then we're doing our same thing that we have done, and after everything, finally we are just releasing the lock. Now I guess I should show you this. We have a new variable named q, which is an array. What it does is, when you call this acquire lock function, it creates a loop. It runs a loop, and inside that it runs a loop, and as long as we can include this file name, it goes inside the loop, and it creates it goes inside the loop. It creates a new promise and checks it for 100 seconds and waits for 100 milliseconds, and then does the same thing again. It checks if it is included or not. Now what will happen, every 100 millisecond it will check, yeah, is this file name is included in that q named array. If it is not, then it will go and include that, or push that file name inside that queue. And release lock, it just removes the file name from that queue. So the previous algorithm that I mentioned in my video, that queuing system. Now this part looks very similar as the problems.js. Now if we can run this file, first let's update this to 5. Okay, now if we can run solution 3, okay, that's cool. Okay, it's 15 now. Now see, none of our processes were cancelled or blocked. No one had to wait for anyone. None of the call had to wait for any other process or another call to be completed. Then we also had the expected value in here, and this were those 3 solutions that I mentioned in my previous video. Now in risk condition, we obviously can have many solutions. It obviously depends on the situation. In my situation, or in my example, these are the 3 solutions that I could come up with. If you also have some solution on your mind, maybe you can comment about that. Thank you. Bye.